I feel I'm at a game. Oh my gosh. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, season 4, episode 27, titled What NHL Veterans to Bring In. I am your host, Sam Wu, here with Beer Baron and Scotty of SiriusXM Liquid Metal. Streaming live on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. And now, in the Morristown Beard Podcast Library, along with Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Audible, iHeart app, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and somewhere in India. We love India. So welcome. We're back from our first day off in a long time.
Hey, we got all of our fingers and all of our toes, right? Because now that all those crazy fireworks are legal in New Jersey, let's just say I went out and spent a pretty penny on lit up the sky on the 4th of July.
I don't think we should be talking about that right now.
It's legal. It's a legal thing to do. They sell them at Walmart and over at whatchamacallit. It was fun. You can buy them at ShopRite. Anyways. Did you guys have a good 4th of July? It was a good weekend. It was a good weekend. It was a fun time. It was responsible. It was legal. It was law-abiding. But it's good to be back because in the interim of us being away, the Stanley Cup was awarded to none other than the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I have to say, they are becoming the heels of the NHL very quickly. They went from like the team that everybody could like and root for, and of course, we'll root for him because of Blake Coleman, and man, what a contributor he was to that team. But Kucherov's presser, which was probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my entire life, and him basically trolling the entire Montreal Canadiens fan base. Also, meanwhile, getting a Bud Light sponsorship from that because of that presser, which is pretty damn impressive, and then rocking a T-shirt that said 18 million over the cap afterwards. I mean, that's pretty. I'd take some big ones, but congratulations to Tampa Bay. You knew they were going to walk away with that one when they stepped into the rink with the Canadiens because they just felt like the better team pretty much the whole series, except for the one game that they lost, but it felt like they were the better team. But go ahead, Scotty.
I was just going to say, we thought that about every, series that the Canadians were in, that they were going to get, steamrolled. So, I thought they were going to put up a better showing, but you're right. Tampa Bay just trounced them. They just trounced them. And I guess they are the heels because I love them, and I always love the heels. So I love Tampa Bay. I love it. Like nobody should be mad at the Tampa Bay Lightning. And by the way, with Brady down there as well, they need to get Tom Brady to show up and just go ultimate heel. Just get Brady down there with the cup as well. Oh my God, that would be great. That would be great.
Tampa Bay now.
Yeah. Dude, they're title 10 over there now. They got 3. Lakers definitely not repeating out here. Oh wait, the Clippers aren't in it, right? It's the Bucks and the Bucks and the Suns are gonna. Oh, right. But anyway, I loved it. You know what? No one should be mad at the Tampa Bay Lightning. Everyone should be mad at the NHL for, it's not Tampa Bay's fault. If the Devils were in that situation, I would be all for it. Yeah, all for it.
Yeah, well.
Yep.
I'd have no problem whatsoever.
Only problem, I would agree with you 99%, Scotty, except for if it were the Devils, they would have taken away our draft pick. Just because it's us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would have definitely happened.
Bettman would have taken away our draft pick, and then he would have given the Conn Smythe to someone on the losing team. That's the way it would be.
To like a fourth liner on the other team.
Interesting stat as well. Martin Brodeur, best goalie of all time, been to 5 Stanley Cups. 2 of those Stanley Cups, a goalie won the Conn Smythe. Neither of them was Marty.
Yeah, which is really weird. And the year that Jaguar won, Quick and Jaguar. Now the year that
Quick and Jaguar,
Quick deserved it 100% that season. And
of
obviously
course.
But LA beat the Devils anyways, so it didn't matter. Yeah.
But what are the odds? What are the odds?
Exactly. But Jaguar winning that Conn Smythe will never sit right with me. If you look at their numbers, they step side to side. I think Marty actually had 7 shutouts that playoff run going to the finals. They had 2 or 3 in the Stanley Cup Finals alone.
Mm-hmm.
Irregardless, that will always go down as like the biggest joke.
Oh yeah, if the Ducks won, then sure. But the Devils pulled it out, then it should have went to Marty. Like it's just the way it was. They both led their teams. I get it. Jaguar had a great. He was awesome. But my mind, a biased mind, of course. It should have went to. It should went to Marty. But I love Tampa Bay. Congratulations to the Lightning. More power to them. I love watching them play. I love that style. They're all over the place. Do those great passes, big offense. You got those monsters on defense as well.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, someone talked about it too. Is as soon as they got Yzerman out of there, Yzerman was very, very much on those small forwards and stuff like that, and they started building a little bit more size. Brought in a couple more pieces of muscle, like Patrick Maroon, 3 cups in a row. Can we just please sign Patrick Maroon just to have him on the team, and hopefully we'll win the Stanley Cup next year? That's every team. He's got to be the hottest free agent out there. Patrick Maroon. Everybody should want him on the team.
The last time he didn't win a cup was 4 years ago now.
Yeah,
but
Blues,
the last time,
Lightning.
The last time the Devils went to the playoffs was Pat Maroon.
He was on the team.
He was on the team. So that was the last time he didn't win the cup. The last time he didn't win the cup, and the last time the Devils made it to the playoffs. So even if he wasn't there, you could imagine how bad they would be. But
bring him back. Bring him back. Bring him back.
I guess it's if he's our GM. I mean, if he is our GM, we've made a few small moves here and there. Scott Wedgwood is re-signed.
Right.
Siegenthaler is re-signed.
Both pretty expected. Both good. We should point out Wedgwood is a two-way contract.
Oh yeah,
he could be. I firmly believe they're going to get another goalie.
Yeah, and I believe Scott Wedgwood is there to be exposed to this. That's such a weird thing to say. He's there to be exposed to the Kraken. But I bet he would be obviously he's going to be the goaltender that they're going to expose unless I don't think Dell is under contract. This is a problem. Off season, the end of the season happens. I got to start looking at all that crap, like who's actually on the active roster right now. I know we're approaching the we're approaching a lot of things actually within the next couple of weeks because if you think about it, Yeah, well, you got the draft. Well, you have the expansion draft. You have the draft right
23rd,
after that, and
right?
then it's like the 23rd, 26th, and then free agency like hits right after that. So I think everything is compacted within like a very small window, and then
you're correct. Arundel is got 0 years of a UFA remaining on his contract. So Wedgwood's got 1 here. Mac Black's got 2. Yeah, and you're right. They do. I think they do have to expose a goalie. So, that would be Wedgwood, but also gives him a 2-way contract if they don't select him. Push him back down to the AHL. If we run into serious trouble again, you can call him back up. Hopefully, the defense won't be as bad next year, and maybe he will. Listen. I know I criticized them heavily. There was a stretch where the goaltending was terrible. But I always said that it looked like Wedgwood was giving his all out there, like 110% every time he went out there. Dell, no offense, he kind of reminded, like the old stick, the old hockey game, like the arc where you twist. The goalie just kind of goes like whoop, whoop. Like that, that's what Arundel looked like to me, just like sliding on his pads, like from one side to the other. He's just like slide, and I don't want to get punched in the face by Arundel. I'm not trying to be critical too much there, but
Hey, I will say he did have the most metal pads I've ever seen in my entire life. Like he had the best Devils pads I've ever seen. All that being said, I would assume that the Devils are going to try to track down some big name, not big name. Let's rephrase that. Some goaltenders in the offseason. And there's a decent list of a few that I think would be a good fit to this team, a good A-B combo. And that's what they were trying to do with Crawford last year. So you could see Fitzgerald is in that right mindset. So you could imagine that's going to be definitely one of the moves that the Devils are going to make this offseason. One thing that we have to start looking forward to, first of all, before we get into any of this crap, did we miss it? Did we miss the memo? I might have said this last week or the week before we went on break. Did Fitzgerald get extended yet? Because they're showing these videos of like, here's the war room. Here's what they're talking about. Here's behind the scenes. Look at Fitzy. Oh, Fitzgerald. All right, cool. Is he our GM? Is he the Devils GM right now? Or is it, still in the progress of being figured out? Because that would be a nice thing to be able to kind of solidify, wouldn't it? Before we get into all these big decisions. Considering the Devils have, the 4th overall pick, the 28th pick in the first round. They have a lot of needs on offense. You have the expansion draft coming up where you're going to be able to make some trades because there's going to be a few teams that are going to have to make some difficult decisions. And there's a lot of teams that are cap strapped. Don't forget that too. There's a lot of teams that are going to be going up against that cap. So not only do you think, the Devils could make some moves in free agency, but there also could be some NHL veterans, and we'll go into the header of our show today, a couple of veterans that they could trade for. Now, the hot name on the presser recently, Vladimir Tarasenko, and I want to talk to you about this, Scotty, because I know exactly. I was trying to prep myself of exactly what Scotty would say about this.
Okay.
In short, you would say no.
Well,
there's other words I'd throw in there.
Well, I just want to. I didn't know this, or maybe I skipped over it. I didn't realize it, or whatever. But old Fitzy is actually an EVP as well of the team, executive vice president. So I don't know if that has anything to do with his standing in needing to sign a general manager contract at this point. He's got
so
two
many
roles.
Weird things.
He's got 2 roles. It's one of those deals that happens in the old corporate world over there. But he's actually an EVP as well.
That's weird. Okay.
So I think that's what he came in as, assistant general manager and executive vice president. And then when Ray left, then he became the intern. So yeah,
when Ray was shown the door.
When Ray brought the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in, and then was left. What did you do, Ray? Can you imagine Fitzgerald just like Bill Murray in there? What did you do, Ray? But I don't know. I was just looking at cap friendly, and I never noticed that before. But it says, I was looking to see if there was a contract length for Fitzy, but just says general manager, then executive vice president. So we'll see. We shall see. But anyway, go ahead. What was it you were talking about again? Vladimir Tarasenko?
So Vladimir Tarasenko is the big name that's out there on the market right now. And I mean, first of all, he has 2 years left on his contract at a pretty big cap hit. He's 29 years old. He's got injury history. Yes, he's dynamic. Yes, he's a stud. When healthy, he is an absolute stud, somebody you have to watch out for. Yes, it would be great to have, him on wing with Jack Hughes, somebody that's a creative force with the puck and is just continuously getting better. But didn't we just play this game? Didn't we? And I mean, like, in the past, I might have been like all on the Tarasenko bandwagon and jumping up and down saying, yeah, that would be great. But I think you've talked a lot of sense into me over the years, my friend, where I look at something like this and I just hear the voice of Taylor Hall ringing in the back of my head. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like almost the same exact thing, right?
Well,
sort of.
Yeah, I
mean, age, no, but and like the injury history. But you got 2 years on a big contract, and he could become a free agency and walk away, and that's pretty much what we were getting into with Taylor Hall when we traded for him. I think there's the same thing, 2-3 years left on his contract, and it was just like, oh well, let's hope he signs.
But also, like, I mean, has Tarasenko ever come across as like trouble? Taylor Hall, it was obvious that Edmonton wanted to get rid of him. I mean, when we look back at it now, they swapped him 1-for-1 for Adam Larson. That should have told us something right there. We were like, yeah. Baby, look at this deal. It probably should have told us something. And how many teams has he bounced around to? Tarasenko, I mean, it would be a nice fit. And the thing is, though, it's only 2 years left. I think it would really matter with what they do with PK. If they get rid of PK, then they need another big contract to get themselves to the ceiling, the cap ceiling. So, or floor, I'm sorry, to the cap floor. So if they expose PK and the Kraken happen to select him, like we've talked about before, we think he would be a great, centerpiece for a franchise, especially a budding franchise. Seattle, I know you have family up there. I have good friends up there. It's one of the bigger cities in the U.S. They are sports
crazy family. Oh yeah,
crazy up there. If you've never been to, if you ever get up there, like a Seahawks game, a Sounders game,
insane.
The soccer game up there is crazy. They've been, in what do you call it? Mourning since the Supersonics, folded shop. And where'd they go? Did they go to Phoenix? Is that where
Oklahoma?
The Supersonics went?
Oklahoma.
They became Oklahoma?
You don't really know a lot about basketball, but that's okay because it's not a basketball podcast. So.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's all right.
The Knicks and Nets. They didn't really.
Scotty,
Oklahoma.
If you listen to Rob Brender on Sirius XM when he does like updates, you would have known that they were Oklahoma.
Okay.
Well, if you don't know, now you know.
Now I know.
In the words of Biggie Smalls.
Supersonics. The Lakers beat the Supersonics. That's Ice Cube.
So dropping knowledge. So, basically, but all those things being said about Tarasenko, do you say yes or no to that? Is pretty much what I'm trying to get to.
I think it really depends. If they get rid of PK, they're going to have to find a big contract like that. And in this sense, it is only, 2 more years, which is kind of fine, and the trajectory of this team and the way we're looking. That's not something that's going to strap us down and be locked into really long term, but it does give us someone, fun for Nico or Jack to play with here, this
is surprising.
If Holtz, I'm trying to think of it from both. Normally I would just be like, nah. But this Well, this is a little bit different though because it's a shorter contract, and it would depend. If they get rid of PK, they're going to need another big contract or two on the roster, and that would be some. But here's the thing: is Tarasenko. I mean, like that's got to be a trade. The Blues are going to want back.
It is a trade,
prospect.
and that's
who would we?
But that's really tricky. That's really tricky. I think that you could get. I think you could get Tarasenko for a lot less than you think you're going to get him for. If that sentence makes sense. So if you look at the situation to get out of the contract, number one, if we would obviously we'd take on the entire contract, which there's not a lot of teams that are going to be able to do that. Number two, I don't even think you would need to give up. Some people are saying it's 2 years, and some people are saying, "Oh, you got to give away that 4. You got to give up that 4. You got to give up Nico." And I'm like, no. First of all, no, not at all.
No,
not at that cap hit, not at that age, not with all the other stuff. First of all, this is all for naught because if Tarasenko doesn't want to come to the Devils, he has a no trade clause, so it doesn't even matter.
Right.
But if it's a possibility, you could give him the 28 overall, and I think even that's overpaying for it. You might be able to get some mid-round picks. This is why I would love to talk to Chris Villano or Nick Villano. Wow, Chris Villano is probably his, estranged brother. I don't know, but Nick Villano, who's on this the State of the Fan address on Wednesdays.
We don't talk about Chris.
Yeah, Chris who? Chris who?
He's like, what was Michael Madsen's name in Kill Bill? Bud. Bill and Bud. Remember, he's like out there in the trailer. Like by himself and stuff like that. That's Chris Villano.
Chris Villano. Yeah, exactly. And he's like, I don't talk about hockey.
Hattori Hanzo sword. Got me $200 for it down there in El Paso.
Oh my God.
That's good. But anyway.
But I would like to hear. I don't think they would have to overpay for it. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, someone like that. I mean, here's the thing. Anyone that's only got like a year or two left, I think Fitzy might be into doing it because he's not long-term tied down, because eventually we're going to have to pay Jack. If we end up drafting Luke, we're going to have to pay Luke then as well. So there's plenty of young talent on this team that, we're going to have to sign to contracts at some point. If, a lot of us were talking about, I know he was, I think I had him as most improved player, Pavel Zacha, he's going to be due for another contract. He signed that with Ray, right? So that was 2 years. So next year, right? Isn't he? This coming year will be his last. Wasn't it a 3-year deal?
Was it? Maybe.
Well, we're going to look at cap friendly right now, buddy. That's what we're going to do.
My goodness. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to fill in the blanks on a few things. So just thinking about some different NHL veterans.
Pavel Zacha, 1 year, but RFA. He's RFA. I think he's got some sort of he gains something, some sort of player power in this session, like negotiate arbitration or something like that. I think that's what it is. He gets arbitration rights. So that great thing where you get to go to court. And a team tells you why they think you suck and why they shouldn't pay you that much money.
And you got some jerks sitting there going like, yep. They're kind of right. So you're going to get $5 million now.
Well, that was the thing with Gomez, because Scott Gomez, they went to arbitration and Gomez's agent was his dad. And they were just like, your son, this is why, no wonder he went and signed with the Rangers the next year. Jeez.
Her dad, you hear what they said about me? Come on, kid. Get out of here.
I was right there. You idiot. I'm your agent.
Smacking him. He's smacking him in the back of the head.
Yeah.
They're driving home in a Winnebago. Yeah. Don't you realize what you're doing? We got to drive all the way back to Alaska now. Come on, Dad. I'm going to go play for New York. You watch me. I'm going to play on Broadway. We should get Scott Gomez on the podcast. That'd be a great conversation. He's a funny dude. He's like one of my favorite Devils.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite Devils for the longest time. He is so funny. I have that.
known prankster too. I would love to get some of his favorite pranks that he's pulled. On I'm sure people have asked him, but we got to get like we want the inside scoop. Don't give me the bread and butter one. Come on, give me the one that you never told anyone about. The one that maybe was a little bit over the edge. Come on, give me that.
Yeah, like putting hot sauce in somebody's jock strap or something like that. He was always one of my favorite Devils, and then
Mo Gilney scored 3 that night. You wouldn't believe it.
Just put a little, Frank's chicken. What was that? Not Frank's chicken. Oh my God.
Frank's Real Hot.
Frank's Red Hot. Frank's Chicken House. That was a different place altogether. Anybody from New Jersey? Anybody from Central New Jersey knows that place. Anyways,
probably went there on their 18th birthday.
Since been renamed, but we all. Anyways, we could go down memory lane, but we won't. But anyways, yeah, the 03 Stanley Cup DVD, which I actually just refound when I was cleaning out a bunch of stuff. I was like, oh my God.
Nice.
I remember his interviews on there his interviews were on there were always pretty funny. But anyways, some NHL veterans that I think that would be kind of nice to bring back. There's one who's going to be a free agent who I'd like to see come back. Blake Coleman. I was so disappointed when Coleman left. You could see he still contributes. I think he would be a great addition to the team. He's got 2 cups under his belt, back-to-back cups. I don't know if he'd want to go. He's probably hoping like, hey, Tampa Bay, keep me around. This is a good deal we got going on here.
Would Tampa Bay want him to go? He's a huge, huge part of that team. He makes them go. He grinds, and he's a gamer. You're right. Yeah, I know you were just about to say like he makes some unbelievable plays. I mean, we all remember that breakaway from that infamous game, where then all of a sudden the Devil season, went down the toilet right after that they ended up, losing 6-5 to Winnipeg there. But he had that chip-in goal in the first period of that game second period of that game when they were, woo! I mean, it's just insane. He's a highlight reel. The diving goal that he made in the Cup Finals where he was like on his stomach like Supermaning.
Was that in the finals or was that was in the finals? Game 2, right?
I think that was in the finals. I could be wrong. I mean,
1 second left on the clock, and he like dove and scored that goal. Yeah. I would like to see him bring back Coleman
in the mix. I would love that, but I don't think. First off, I don't think Blake was going to want to leave Tampa. That's for sure. If I was playing on Tampa Bay, I mean, they're going to have to make some moves. See, that's a team where I'd really like. They got some defensemen over there that I wouldn't mind having on our team that are going to be pretty expensive for $18 million over the cap. So they're going to have to make some moves.
Well, let's look at. Sorry, I'm trying to look up the list. I guess it goes in reverse. Let's look up the list of the top free agents, top 25 free agents, and this is also the top 25 free agents by NBC Sports Boston. Put this out.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. It's the first one that I saw pop up on my phone, so I clicked on it. So I'm going to fly through these. I'm not going to like sit here and pontificate on each one.
Thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl confirmed it was the finals for Pickles.
So game 2, like with 1 second left going into the third period.
It was a game-winning goal. Yeah, it was a game. It ended up being a game-winning goal.
It was, yeah. So Nick Foligno at number 25. He's
Nick Foligno.
Nick Foligno plays?
Nick Foligno?
No, it's just Ned? Chris. Get out of here, Chris. You owe me $5. So, let's see. Foligno is age 33. 24 is Mike Hoffman. Mike Hoffman, a couple years ago, I would have said yeah, but no thanks. He's 31.
He's another one you hear the rumors about, like just kind of being a jerk behind the scenes. Don't want to, whatever. It's just what I've heard. Just little rumors here and there, and he's a little.
You never know.
Yeah, and we've been down that road.
Adam Larson. I didn't realize Larson was a free agent. He's only 28.
It does look like he's renegotiating with Edmonton, though. So that would have been an interesting piece. But also he's going to be looking for a longer term deal. So we'll see. And that's also a destination for possibly for Tarasenko is Edmonton.
No, that's true. Maybe they'll do 1-for-1. Adam Larson will go to the Blues.
There you go.
For Tarasenko. David Savard. Okay, speaking of Lightning defenseman, David Savard, 30 years old. So that might not be a bad piece to add, but I don't know. We'll kick that tire. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit down the road. Number 20 is Michael Granlund, 29 years old, left wing and a center. Paul Stastny. We could bring back Paul Stastny and be like, hey, your dad was a Devil once, remember? I think he was born. I think Stastny was actually, I could be dead wrong about this, born in Jersey when his dad was playing for the Devils. I could be totally wrong about that, but so he's 35, old man in hockey years. Mike Riley, defenseman, 27 years old. Linus. Okay, so here we go. Here's a goaltender that I think would actually make a lot of sense for the Devils. Linus Ullmark. Linus Ullmark from the Buffalo Sabres. He's 27 years old. Don't look at the Sabres. Don't look at the record. I think Ullmark is actually a decent goaltender to have as a backup, everybody, to have as a backup, not as your starting goaltender.
I think that's I think that's an interesting piece as well. I've said it before that I think the goaltending will be a big where we get the biggest name, I think, in the offseason. So someone like that, Yaroslav Halak. I've always been a fan of Halak. I know he's older, but there's a couple other. Go ahead. I know you're going to hit him. Chris
Dreiger. Dreiger, is that how you spell? I can't pronounce names. Everybody knows that. Goaltender. So he was. It says he was fantastic last year, posting a 2.07 goals against average with a 0.927 save percentage in 23 games for the Panthers. The Panthers were also really good last year, so that could be inflated because the team was pretty damn good. But at 27 years old, that might not be a bad idea. Thomas Tatar, age 30, left wing. We saw the things that he was doing for the old Montreal Canadiens. Jaden Schwartz. May the Schwartz be with you.
May the Schwartz be with you.
And this little guy. Spaceballs the Flamethrower is one of the best movies ever. Schwartz is 29.
Do you know why they did that? Do you know why they did that? I just found this out. Do you know why they did that? Because Spielberg or George Lucas was going to sue them or something like that. And he gave Mel Brooks the okay, but he said, you're not allowed to do any toys or anything like that. It's, Star Wars can only be the toys. There could be no Spaceball toys. So that's why they did the whole. Yeah. I just learned that story recently. I thought that was hilarious.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny. Oh my God. Number 13 on their list. Well, we got Blake Coleman, 29.
Okay. There's Pickles.
There's Pickles. And how funny would it be if the Devils did re-sign him? You then ended up with a first-round pick, and you got Foot for him, right? Was it Foot that we got for him? Yeah. Nolan Foot. And then you got him back. That'd be pretty sweet. Number 12 is Philip.
Yeah, you get Foot. Was it Dawson Mercer, and then re-sign him back?
That would be pretty sweet.
That would be something. I see him. I think he'll re-sign though with Tampa. I think they'll try to keep him.
I think so too. Number 12, Philip Denault, the center from the Montreal Canadiens. He's age 28. Zach, don't break my hymen, left winger from the Toronto Maple Leafs at 29 years old. Hey, you got to, come on.
Wow.
All right, so here's another interesting one. Woo! All right. At number 10, on their list, they have Kyle Palmieri.
I thought he'd be higher on the Bruins list. I feel like he would be a great fit up there in Boston.
I would be too, but you know what? We'll finish this list and then we'll talk about that. Brandon Saad, putting him down to Saad. We're sad, real sad.
Or he's really sad. Yeah.
Oh, he's really sad.
He's really
left
sad.
Winger, 28 years old, played for the Avs last year. Okay, so here's a defenseman that I wanted the Devils to get a long time ago and never really ever panned out. Tyson Barrie. Tyson Barrie is a hell of a defenseman. He's 29 years old now. But he's still one of the highest scoring defensemen in the league. It says here that he tallied 48 points, 8 goals, and 40 assists, which I can guarantee almost doubled what any of our defensemen probably did for the Oilers last year. In fact, Gabriel Landeskog tallied more points, 52. Here's a goaltender. Get ready for it.
Yep.
This is a big one. He's 34 years old. Somebody pushed his face up against the glass. You know that whole saying, don't hold your face like this and get slapped in the back of the head because they'll stay like that forever?
Mm-hmm.
Tuukka
Rask. Wow. Well, I'm sure he's going to want to come to New Jersey now after hearing this podcast.
It's good. You hear that? You hear that guy? I'd be like, dude,
it's Man Bear Pig.
Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Tuukka Rask.
Yeah.
So Tuukka Rask.
Yeah.
Here's another
New Jersey Devils fans. Your goaltender for 2022. Man Bear Pig. Tuukka Rask. Yeah, I feel like
Tuukka Man Bear Pig Rask.
I think he'll stay up in Boston.
I
don't think
more than likely.
I think they'll sign him to a short. If he wants to play, I think they'll sign him to like a short-term deal.
Another goaltender.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 6 on this list.
Mm-hmm.
At the age of 29, Philip Grubauer.
Yes.
Yeah, Grubauer had a breakout 2021 season.
He did. For the old
but look at the team. But look at the team he's playing on. That's the crap that about some of these goaltenders. You're like, man, look at his numbers. But then you're like, oh yeah, he was on the freaking Avs. Like, yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure like some of these mid-range goaltenders would have a great season if they're on a really, really good team.
Well,
put him on the Devils and see how he does.
Let's see how good you really are, buddy. Come play for the Devils here.
Oh, you think you're good, huh? Put on this jersey and go play in front of those guys. Yeah. Getting 45 shots a night.
David Severson scoring on you the whole time.
Corey Schneider's crying in the other locker room still. The ghost of Corey Schneider.
The ghost of Corey Schneider. Oh, good God.
You got Martin Brodeur in a box watching you flail. All right, number 5. Now at an older age, 35 years old.
I also think that they'll keep Colorado will try to re-sign Grubauer. I think.
Yeah, I do too. Because there's no other real options out there. David Krejci from the Boston Bruins at center at 35 years old. So as a veteran presence, who knows? Like some of these guys might not even want to come to a team that's rebuilding at the age of 35. But
we got a lot of centers too.
We got a lot of centers. We don't think I don't know if he would really fit the team, but yeah, you know what? Screw him. We don't need him. But here's a left wing.
You're dead to me, Krejci.
Yeah, Krejci, go rot in Boston, you bum. I love that you think that any of these guys would have they'd be like, you know what? I was thinking about New Jersey, and they what kind of podcast can I listen to that's about the Devils? And they go turn it on.
Let's see what the fans are like.
Man, Bear Pig.
Yeah.
We don't need you. Come to New Jersey and fail. Here's an actual real one that I think would make some sense for the Devils.
Okay.
Let's see if you can guess. Number 4 on their list. He's 28 years old. He plays left wing. He had 52 points. 52 points in the last year. He's got a pretty big name. He's got a pretty big name to him.
I don't know. Give it to me.
Gabriel Landeskog.
Oh, Landeskog.
At 28 years old, a left winger. He's got grit. He's got size. Two things that you have been saying. You have been saying this team has been desperately needing.
Yes.
And guess who else is going to be trying to get him? Because guess what other team in this area needs grit and size?
Oh, I know. The team across the river.
That's right. So I think Landeskog would be a great fit to this team for a couple different reasons. Listen, we're not going to ask the world of him. I think he would fit this team well with you put him on a line with Zaka and I don't know, plug in XYZ, who knows. And it adds an immediate kind of like just big size to this team. And listen, our fourth line with what was happening with McLeod and Bastion this year was great. You saw a lot of good things happening. That's a young line.
Jesper Bratt. Look out for Jesper. Don't forget about big tough guy Jesper Bratt.
That's right. That toddler's going to go grab you and push you around in the corner,
Hey,
so
he dropped the gloves times there, old Jesper.
I know. I'm proud of him. Proud of the guy. I actually just got a Jesper Bratt autographed puck. It's pretty sweet.
Very nice. Very cool.
So number 3 on our list is some butthole named Taylor Hall. Number 2,
Landeskog, I mean, would be an amazing addition. That's someone, if they're actually interested in coming to the Devils from Colorado, that would be someone, even at the age of 28, where you really have to look at it. And I know Fitzy has said that he wants everything to be, younger, or, the older contracts short term. But that one, I think, if he would be interested, I don't know if he would be, but if he would be interested, playing on a line with him and Nico and Pavel Zacha or something like that, woo. Mm-hmm. I mean, that would be very, very enticing. I'm sure to a lot of Devils fans out there. Now, the idea though is that, why would Landeskog want to come to New Jersey now? If this was 3 years from now, I would say we probably have a good chance, but like right now, when we still have so many woes, I don't know if he'll be interested in that. And again, Colorado, I thought they were going to get a lot farther in the playoffs. I know they're going to have to make some decisions on money. Yeah.
Money. But see, that's the problem is the Avs are in a position where they're going to have to make some really hard decisions. They're going to have to say goodbye to either him or Brandon Saad guy. So they're going to have to say goodbye to one of those two, because they also
don't
have
forget about
Grubauer, but they also have Cale Makar.
Mm-hmm.
And both of their goaltenders, Grubauer and Devin Dubnyk, are the Avalanche have several free agents to address, including Brandon Saad, number 1 defenseman. I didn't realize Makar was a free agent. They're going to sign him. There's no
is he
effing
restricted?
way.
restricted, isn't he?
It
Restricted
says,
free agent.
I'm reading this article right now, and it says they have several important free agents to address, including Brandon
Right.
Saad, number one
not
defenseman, Cale Makar,
restricted.
both of their
He's
goalies,
restricted, though.
Grubauer and Devin Dubnyk, and team captain Gabriel Landeskog.
Yeah,
Makar
but,
needs to be the priority, even at his age.
Yeah, he's a restricted free agent. He's a restricted.
Are you
would have
100%?
to-
100?
Yeah,
100%?
Yeah, he's
100?
How old is he? He's like 22 or 23 years old, isn't he?
No, he's in Nico's draft class. A lot of people are now saying
Okay,
if you redrafted
22.
it, he would be number one. Yeah, 22, whatever. But if he's an RFA, he's an RFA. But you still need to pay him. You still need to restructure his contract or whatever the hell you need to do. So Landeskog might be the one that's on the outs because
I don't know. You don't think
Makar's worth but you back up the dump truck and you dump it in his driveway. That dude is insanely talented. And a defenseman. Get out of my face. Get out of my absolute face with that. Because that dude's going to be bring the Brinks truck, as they say.
They got Devin Toews, all right. And Bowen. Byram, rather. I always say it backwards. I mean, yeah. I mean, but Cal Makar, he's a restricted free agent, so I mean, and that's another thing too. Landeskog is their captain. Are they really going to let their captain go?
It happens. It happens a lot. It happens a hell of a lot more than you think. A captain getting moved. Nick Foligno. Nick Villano? Villano?
Nick
Villano?
Villano?
Is that you? You bum.
What?
Get out of here,
Ooh.
Chris. Get out of here, Chris. No, Nick Foligno was the captain of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and he got dealt. Shea Weber was the captain of the. I'm pretty sure he was the captain of the. The Nashville Predators when he got traded to Montreal.
Yeah,
so
captains happen.
Captains can be moved. Captains can be cut. Blah blah blah.
Those
Nobody
are
cares
trades.
about your.
Those are trades, though. That's not pending. You know what? It's tough too because everyone. I know I picked the Avs to go all the way to I picked the Avs to win this year, and they didn't make it. They got bounced second round. You know, maybe it's
maybe it's time. Maybe they need to shake some things up and loosen up some money. Because if you look at it, Landeskog, I think, would be a good fit for the Devils. If Fitzgerald, assuming he's our GM, if he walks away from this free agent period, and this is a big if, and people get too excited about free agency, and then there's that ultimate letdown because the reality is what
fans overreact. Stop it.
Never.
Stop it, brah. No way, brah.
No way.
No way, brah. Now why? I mean, it's a very interesting, addition right there, and especially also with the idea of we just lost, two of our elder statesmen who were, assistant captains in Travis Zajac and Kyle Palmieri, maybe bringing in someone who was also a former captain like a Landeskog, maybe as an A, right there. I don't know. For someone like that, that's an interesting one.
Leadership, baby. That's grit. So this is the things that you said that this team is missing.
Yep.
Grit,
yep. Oh, remember that
size,
fight?
Leadership.
I saw him step up in that fight there in the playoffs as well. Like, this one might be the one where if he's willing to come to New Jersey, we have the money, that's for sure. He might be one that you can consider. What's up?
Sam put me in my place that Paul Stastny was born in Quebec City. All right, Paul. All right.
He's a Nordique.
Wait, Paul, he's a Nordique.
He's a Nordique over here. Oh, wait.
But so anywho,
who's the next one?
Going back to this, the last one was Dougie Hamilton, and then of course, let's be real, Alexander Ovechkin is Dougie. Is that Dougie? Is that Dougie over there?
It's just Dougie Hamilton over there. I think everybody just wants him so they can be like, yeah, Dougie Hamilton. Yeah, we got Dougie Hamilton over here.
We got Doug. Hey, it's Doug.
We got Dougie.
I wonder if
Dougie Hamilton.
If someone called him Doug, does he get mad? It's Dougie, guys. It's Dougie. Hey, Hams. No, it's Dougie.
Hey, Hams.
All right, dude.
Oh, man.
Hey, Hams.
All right, Douglas. Ooh.
No, Doug. Ooh. And then he just punches you right in the face, like square too, like right here.
Hey, anyone ever call you Dirty Dougie when you were a kid?
Hey, there's that smelly kid. What's his name? Dirty Doug.
Dougie.
Hey, now he's not coming to our team now because he's going to listen to the podcast and be like,
listen to the podcast.
How did they know they call me Dirty Doug?
Just see it then cut scene to the notebook and then a big line going
it out.
Yeah.
He was rumored to be a New Jersey Devil. Not anymore. Not if they call them Dirty Dougie.
Dirty Dougie.
Dirty Dougie sounds like a dance. Yo, you see that Dirty Dougie on the floor? Like, anyway.
Do the Dirty Dougie.
But do the Dirty Dougie. What is it?
Well,
what does he do with his hand?
Either way, of that list, I think the goaltending and Landeskog is an interesting option. He's a very interesting option. If he would be interested in coming to a team that really isn't going to be, really I think competing for a cup for another 2 or 3 years, until these kids really develop. But it's a nice piece to have.
Yeah.
As well, and then hopefully the idea would be then I would think put him on the top line for the time being, and then let Holtz, get himself ready, and then when Holtz would be ready, move him up as your big
and Mercer.
Power.
Don't forget
scorer.
about Mercer.
Oh, Mercer. Oh, of course, yeah. All the
and
rest
I feel
of
like,
it, but I mean,
feel like
Holtz is looking like the sniper guy, that's just what I mean. But Landeskog can fill that role right now for that wing that we need.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, there's so many unknown variables about what's going to happen between now and the start of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume if just speaking free agency, and we can go deeper into it because there's more people on the list. There's a lot of guys out there that are being rumored to want to, be moved. Jack Eichel. So here's something interesting. I'm not saying that the Devils are going to try and get Jack Eichel, although that would be pretty awesome. Jack Eichel is an interesting character because he's from the Boston area. Has openly admitted, and even I think in a recent interview where he said it would be awesome to play for Boston. The Boston Bruins would have to give up a boatload to get Jack Eichel. Because not only are they going to be trading with the Buffalo Sabres, you would assume that the Buffalo Sabres could get a super haul for Eichel, but not just that, trading within the division is usually going to cost you a little bit more. So trading within the division, you think that if Boston really wants him and they go all in on this Eichel thing, and he also played for Boston College, I believe. Either Boston College or Boston University, I forget. Boston University. I think he was a Terrier. Yeah. But if Boston figures out a way to trade for him, you're going to need another team sometimes to come in there and be like, let's facilitate some things for you. Let's take on some of this. We'll take on a contract. We'll take on a couple players, a couple prospects, whatever. It could be a 3-way team or a 3-team trade to kind of soften the blow for Boston or to even facilitate some of the trade in general. The Devils are in a good position because they have, I think, the second most cap space. I believe the Detroit Red Wings have more cap space than the Devils do. There's one other team ahead of them that has a little bit more cap space. And it's not a lot. It's only $2 million, $3 million more. But the Devils are in a great position where they could be a team in that three-way trade. They could be a team that could facilitate a trade for a team that's completely cap-strapped, and there's a lot. And it doesn't mean, and this is the thing too, I hate in the past, like the Devils would be like, who you got, David Savard? He hasn't played hockey in like 10 years. Sure, we'll take on his contract because, you still have to pay him. I don't want to see the Devils take on those types of deals, even though they could. And that kind of stuff could lead to like, all right, we'll give you a first-round pick and this dead contract that we can't get rid of that's costing us X, Y, Z. So you could see the Devils doing something like that. But what I'm trying to say is like they have so many different options. It's exciting. We hope that Fitzgerald is in the driver's seat. I know there's a former team manager, whatever the hell position he was in, that said the Devils got the green light, and then I'm retiring from Devils stuff. So even though there was a green light given, you would assume that the owners can't be happy with what's been going on. It's time to right the ship. It's time to get this in the right position. If you make the right trades, there's enough young talent on this team that you could be competitive. I'm not going to say we're going to be pushing for a cup. I'm not saying we're going to go for a playoff spot. You could have a very competitive team if you make the right moves. Expansion draft, cap space. There's a lot of things that this team has going for him. We just hope that Fitzgerald, if he's the GM, does the right thing. Hi, Sam.
Hey, I have an idea that's going to cause controversy.
Oh, good.
All right. Hear me out here. Now, the Devils need to spend, depending upon what happens with PK, they need to get to the floor, right?
Yeah.
Tampa's got money issues.
Yeah, they're $3 million over right now, according to Cap Friendly.
I would go bold and try to get Kucherov out of there.
Yeah, that would never happen.
I know.
Never happen.
I would try. It's a big salary. You've got a lot of young prospects. It's weaponize that cap room that you've got.
I hate that saying. Because I've never seen it happen.
Love it you're gonna love it when
I've never seen it happen.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah, but so make it happen. That's like saying like, I don't know if you guys ever played sports, but like in high school when you're playing football, and your coach would be like, "All right, if the field goal kicker kicks his 35-yard field goal, no laps after practice." It's like the beginning of practice, and the kicker goes up and he like boots one straight through, and we're all like, "Yeah, this is great." And at the end of practice, you're still doing laps, and you're like, "Wait, what the hell? What the hell was all that like promise of like, not having to do something?" That's like what weaponizing the cap always feels to me. It's like this big empty promise. It's like, yeah, guess what, guys? We got this cap room. We're gonna weaponize it. We're gonna steal somebody. We're gonna get some superstar from a team, and they're not gonna expect it because we're gonna weaponize.
Well, that's
and
what
then
the New Jersey Devils have been promising us. Those false promises.
And that's
for so long now. So I get that part. But I'm saying if you're gonna make a move, if you're gonna
go
do
big or
that,
go home.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying that look. They have some money problems. They just won 2 cups. You've got a lot. You could surely use a right
The Devils
winger.
would do that. The Devils would do that, and not to bring up a sore subject, but I think yesterday was the anniversary of a day that we don't want to remember. We would get another Russian who would retire. We'll talk about. You would talk about trading for.
But after
like
that press conference, I'm all about this guy.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm saying.
Well, speaking of Russia, I mean, and Tampa Bay, I would love for Fitzy to try and weasel Sergachev off of them. 2 years left, restricted free agent. He's got a 4.8 cap million hit. They signed Cernak as well. He's only at 2.9, but I would love to have Sergachev at 23 years old on our team. And if 100%. we can weaponize our cap space, I would love to be able to do that because we could take that whole salary, not a problem. And even when he's ready for a raise in 2 years, We still have the room to be able to do that, and that would make our defense a lot better. You know, that's what I'd see right there. I mean, if I'm looking at a team that's over the cap, that's got a lot of problems, it's Tampa Bay. You know, they want to re-sign some of these people, but, you know, they're not getting rid of Hedman and McDonough's. McDonough's got 5 years left. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
What?
Yes, who's going to be exposed to the draft by them?
McDonough.
Oh,
he's only 30.
But
he's only 32. I thought he was older.
I thought it was way later.
I guess
but because he was with the Rangers for like ever and ever, and
yeah,
and then he went to Tampa Bay.
I think he came up as like an 18-year-old rookie, though. I think that's why, going to be like Zaka and Nico, in a couple years from now when we're like, what? They've been playing for 10 years? They're only 28?
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
That's
like Ovechkin. Ovechkin's only 35, but you feel like he's like 50 because the dude's been in the league forever.
Yeah.
Like Ovechkin, he's 35.
Doesn't get hurt a lot either.
Sergachev, by the way, full circle on that. You know that the Tampa Bay Lightning got Sergachev for Drouin from Montreal. So you think about that,
yes,
that was.
Yes,
I don't know if
if
anybody remembers, but Drouin was like this huge headache down in Tampa Bay, and kind of like I don't know if he was holding out or what the hell the situation was, but it was like not good. And then they finally figured out a way to trade him out of there. And Sergachev was kind of like a throw-in with that trade, if I'm mistaken. And look at where that ended up. That's the thing is you never know. You never know what some of these moves are. And a lot of people will point to, well, the Devils need this, the Devils need that, the Devils. If you really think about it, if you really break this team down, and then the way that they're the trajectory of Jack Hughes, of Nico Hischier, if Nico Hischier stays healthy all next year, if Pavel Zacha continues on what he's been doing and picks up where he left off, if Jack Hughes continues growing, if they're able to draft, first of all,
Ty Smith.
God, look, they got Ty Smith. They have pieces. They have a good nucleus. They have a good core. Sharon Govich, if he picks off, talk about a steal, which I believe he's an RFA, and that needs to get done too. You have a lot of really a lot of strong pieces to the core of this team. They're a lot better in a lot better position than a lot of people give them credit for. And I guarantee, like Scotty's been saying for the last 2 years, or the last year especially, in 2 to 3 years, this team is going to be absolutely deadly. If they keep going the right way, don't mortgage the future. Don't give away Jack for nothing. Don't give away Nico for nothing. Don't go like, oh, we'll trade Nico for Tarasenko. No. Don't go doing something stupid like that. But if you take this team that we have right now, let's say that they lose PK Subban in the expansion draft. They find a way to get Dougie Hamilton as a free agent. They get Landeskog as a free agent. They get like Linus Ullmark as a free agent. These are not impossible gets, by the way. It's not like I'm saying like they're going to get Ovechkin. They're going to go get this, that, and the other thing. They get those three pieces. You put them into the team that's already on the ice. You find a way to go over to a team like Tampa Bay, and you get a Sergachev from Tampa Bay. All of a sudden, your defense is looking damn good. Your offense is looking damn good. And this team, and if you have these young guys, Mercer coming up, you have Kevin Ball. Let's not forget about Kevin Ball, who's showing some pretty good promise last year at the end of the season. Siegenthaler, in the 8-game window that he showed us, not bad. He could be maybe the bottom pairing of your defense. There's a lot of really good things happening with this team. It's just a matter of, can they finally put it together? Because those were the pieces that were missing. When Taylor Hall was here, it was like, what can we do to make Taylor happy? But we didn't do it the right way. We were trying to make somebody happy that didn't want to stay. That's like giving your significant other, like, oh, yeah, I bought you a brand new car. Like, I changed myself. And look at me. I'm so cool. And that person doesn't want to be with you. They're not going to be with you. That's just how it's going to be. That's Taylor Hall. He left. He wasn't going to stick around. He was like, oh, my obligations are done. I'm out. Peace. See ya. Life lessons, folks. Don't try to make a Taylor Hall happy. And then when you're dating somebody terrible, I'm going to be like, you're dating a Taylor Hall. You got a Hall in your life.
Taylor Hall.
Yeah. That's a bad sign. If somebody tells you you're dating a Taylor Hall, you better break up with him or her. Or it. Just end. You be the smart one and end the relationship. Send your Taylor Hall to send your version of Taylor Hall to Arizona. Go date my cousin. He's in Arizona.
Oh man.
Oh my God. So interesting.
Well,
by the way, I got big news. I'll save it for my last thought. Yeah.
Well, I think we're basically there, right? Aren't we at about last thoughts now?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, why don't you go ahead and give us your big news?
Well, it's huge news. Actually, it's huge news.
Huge.
So the other day, I was sitting on Twitter as I normally do, and I was scrolling through some stories, and I stumbled across something pretty amazing. I'm going to be the proud owner of a Mikey McLeod autographed puck from our friends over at Sports Minded. So my friends over at Sports Minded, if you haven't seen, they have some pretty amazing things that are a steal, mind you, right now. I messaged them instantaneously after I saw this post. I said, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" And it was between like a puck or a picture of him in that fight against whoever he's fighting, Brandon Smith, I think, from the Rangers. And I said, I got to get the puck. So, big news. I finally got a piece of Mikey McLeod merch coming to my house. I'm very excited. I'll be showing it up on the podcast. I won't be here next week, but I'll show it next week, the week after.
I can't top that. I mean, that's just too much right there. That's
exciting.
It's exciting. It's exciting news. My final thought is I'm excited for Mikey McLeod autographed puck for Beer Baron over here.
Thank you. It's a long time coming. I mean, it would have been better if I got it. Would have been better if I got it in person, but hey, a man can dream, right? Man can dream.
Man can dream.
Oh, I guess it's my turn now. Yeah, I guess it's my turn. July 23rd, we'll be down at Taj Lounge 973 for a big draft party. It's going to be great. I think it's going to start at 6 p.m. We're going to have music. We're going to have food. We're going to have fun with all of our analysis. Also, I want to thank everybody. I got a lot of private messages in the last week about me being on Hockey Buzz and Pucks and Pitchforks blog. Thank you very much. And we'll be back next week. Just Scotty and I, because I think Beer Baron, you'll be somewhere.
I'll be away on assignment. Outside Michael McLeod's house.
Till next time, let's go Devils.